Yo guys, what is up? It is Nocturnality here with a brand new video, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make a macro for Blade and Soul. You could do this with any class if you know what the macro is. Unfortunately, I don't know the macro for each and every class and every spec, but today we're just going to be doing it on the dual blade Lotus spec. Yeah, I've had a lot of comments and a lot of people asking me what's the macro or how to make the macro. So today I'm going to show you exactly that. So this all really depends on if you have a mouse that's capable of doing this. However, all mice are technically capable in some way, shape, or form, even if you have a $10-15 mouse from like Walmart or something. But for those type of mice that don't have a program, you would have to get a third-party program that someone has made to be able to use a macro. But today I'm going to be showing you how to do it on a SteelSeries mouse. Most mice, when it comes to creating a macro, the program is going to be pretty much similar in terms of how it's actually done. So if you have a SteelSeries mouse, make sure you download your SteelSeries engine. You can simply go to Google, type in SteelSeries engine, and when you get it downloaded and you got an account and signed in, it's going to pull up just like this. You'll click on engine, and under gear it's going to show your peripherals. Currently I have a SteelSeries Arctis headset and a rival mouse. So what I'm going to do from here is going to click on my rival. And this is going to pull up just like this. It's going to show all the programmable buttons you have. For me personally, I'm going to use button 4, which is my back button by default. So yeah, what we're going to do is going to go ahead and create our macro. If you haven't ever made a macro with this, it's going to be completely blank. There will be nothing here. But we're going to create a new key press macro. And then it's gonna be completely blank here. This is a very simple UI on how to do this. And when you click start, it's going to record your key presses. So for the Lotus spec with simple mode on, the macro is tab TC, that's for the wind buff, and tab T4 for the earth buff. So we're going to do the wind buff. So I'm going to do tab T and C, and then you're going to click stop. So this does add latency in between your key presses, but we want to add we want no delay between our key presses. So here's how we're going to do it. We're going to go to our settings here. We're going to click on no delay. That will remove all the delays between the key presses and click save. This is done relatively the same with other programs, like for Corsair it's IQ. And I forgot, I don't know what the other ones are, just on Corsair and SteelSeries, but it should all be relatively the same on how to do it. You may have to look up a video exactly on how to create a macro with like IQ or another program for your mouse, and just go from there. But yeah, so we get tab T and C, which is for the wind buff, and if you're wanting to do the earth buff, it's tab T4. If you're wondering what the difference is between those two for dual blade Lotus spec, the wind buff is going to give you more damage, but it's going to have a higher focus use, or it might be about the same for both, but the earth buff actually regens focus, so you pretty much don't run out of focus with using earth buff. But we're going to go to the wind buff because I have the gear to be able to keep up with the wind focus use. So yeah, tab TC. So you're probably wondering, I also had a lot of questions on what T means. Because in game you don't have an ability that's actually like T, but technically R and B. So I'm going to show you that in game. Okay guys, we are back in game now. So I'm going to show you how to make how do you get T out of all this. So you're going to hit escape on your keyboard. You're going to go to settings, and you're going to go to key bindings, and you're going to go to skill use. Now by default, when you install the game, this is all going to be the same. The only difference is like when you install the game and you don't have any settings change or anything like that, your contextual skill slot 2 right here will be blank. It'll say none. So and what this means is contextual skill slot 1 is LMB, contextual skill slot 2 is RMB, and contextual skill slot 3 F is just already F. So yeah, that's where T comes from. T equals RMB. So that's how you set that up. You would just click on it and hit T, or whatever key you want to make it. Everyone just does it T by default. So just set it as T. And another thing, if your talisman is Shift E, you'll want to change your ready to reply to whisper to like just some key on your keyboard that you don't use or something like that. Because when you try to use your talisman Shift E while your macro is going, it's going to pull up the whisper window and it's going to spam the macro in there. So make sure you change that or you're going to have problems. So now I'm going to show you what it's like in the training room. So we're going to go to F12 and go to the training room, and I'm going to show you exactly how this works. I've showed it in the past few videos, but we're going to do it again just so you guys know. So we're going to do it on the training dummy. And this is on the Lotus spec. Again, guys, it's for the Lotus spec only. Shifting blades does not have a macro. So yeah, there will be a video coming later for that. And this is the gear that I have right here. This is all just the Call to Arms event gear. So we have the Wild Song bracelet, and then I have the Premonition Soul badge. I don't have wing rides yet. We'll be getting it soon for this. Trying to work on getting. I do have the specs, or the specs, the accessories for shifting blades. So I have a video coming, that coming very, very soon. But anyways, we're on the Lotus spec here. So on our macro editor, as you guys remember, we had made the macro, which was tab TC for Lotus for the wind buff. So now we're gonna pull back up our my mouse window here, and I want to set it for my back button. So I'm gonna click on button 4, which is my back button, and then by default it is set on mouse buttons. We're gonna change it to macros, and then we are going to change this to I didn't rename it. It's called key press macro 9. So I'm gonna select that. Now you could, if the option's there, you could do a toggle hold, or actually you could do repeat while pressed, so that the macro will only keep going as long as you're holding down the button. But I typically don't go for that. I just do toggle auto repeat, and then we're going to click on save. So basically what's going to happen is when I hit my back button, the macro is going to continuously keep repeating itself until I press it again to stop it. So for Lotus, we're going to start out with our talisman, and then we're going to hit our macro, my back button, and just leave it at that. Just like so. You could put V in your macro. Whoops. One other thing, make sure you turn on simple mode, so it will do the rest of the rotation for you. So yeah, so make sure you get simple mode on. So we're going to do simple mode is on now. Shift E for talisman, and then let it go. Now your V, you could add it into your macro if you wanted. Just make sure that when you are using V that you're at least about 4.9 to 5 meters away from whatever target you're hitting to get the maximum damage out of your V. But yeah, if you have the gear to be able to keep up with the wind buff, then use that. If you're having problems with your focus down here, I would suggest you to use the earth buff until you have gear that can keep up with the focus use. So yeah. But that's pretty much it. It's very, very simple. Like I said, yeah, with your V, because your V is it's going to be the highest damage skill in this build. And I wanted to show the talents here, in case I didn't. So we're gonna this is for the Lotus dual blade. We're gonna do 3, 2, 1, 2, 1. Or you could also even do 2, 2, 1, 2, 1. This second one's going to give you an extended duration of wind and earth. But yeah, typically you just want to go with this one right here, the 3, 2, 1, 2, 1. So yeah, That's pretty much it, guys. If you have any questions, feel free to leave comments down below. I will be getting to the shifting blades video very, very soon. So yeah, guys, let me know what you think of this, and I'll see you guys later.